All right, you are going to want to see this. Google has just rolled out a really interesting experimental feature inside its Gemini app. It's called Storybook, and get this, it promises to turn literally anyone with an idea into an instant author of illustrated children's books. So let me just ask you this. What if you could take any thought you have, a memory, a funny inside joke, a lesson you want to teach your kid, and just poof, turn it into a fully illustrated, narrated storybook in just a few minutes? That is the incredible promise we're going to dig into today. But, before we get to the magic trick, let's talk about the reality. To really appreciate this, we got to remember how hard this stuff used to be. Anyone who's ever tried to create a custom story, especially one with pictures, knows it's a huge challenge. It is a journey. And the difference is just night and day. I mean, the old way, even with AI, was so clunky, right? You'd use one AI to write the story, then you'd have to copy-paste that into a different AI to generate the images one by one. And what did you get? Hours of work, and usually a mess. The art style would be all over the place, your main character looking like a different person on every single page. The Gemini way? Well, that promises to fix all of it. So this brings us to Google's answer. Let's take a look at how Gemini Storybook is being framed as something new. Not just a tool, but an experimental co-creator built to solve those exact frustrations. So what is this thing exactly? Okay, Storybook is an experimental feature that lives right inside the Gemini app. You give it one single prompt, just one idea, and from that, it whips up a complete 10-page illustrated story. And it doesn't stop there. It gives you the text and even a read-aloud narration, the whole shebang. And they've made the whole process just dead simple. It's basically 3 steps. 1, you describe the story you're dreaming up. 2, and this is a really cool touch, you can actually upload your own stuff for inspiration, like a photo or even one of your kids' drawings. And 3, you just hit generate. That's it. Seriously. Okay, so once you realize how incredibly easy this is, your mind just starts racing with all the things you could create. And trust me, the possibilities are huge. For parents and educators, this is an absolute game changer. Think about it. You can create a story to explain something big like the solar system to a 5-year-old. Or you could make up a story about 2 little gnomes who have to learn how to share their favorite toy. You can even help a kid with their fears by creating a story where the scary thunderstorm is just the clouds playing a giant drum solo. But it's not just for teaching lessons. The personal creativity you can unleash here is just off the charts. You could upload a photo of your cat, I don't know, let's call her Luna, and tell Gemini to make a story where she's a super spy protecting the neighborhood. Or take a picture from that family vacation and turn it into a magical quest. And since it supports over 45 languages, you can share these stories with family all over the world. Okay. As amazing as all that sounds, we do need to pump the brakes for a second and have a little reality check. Remember, this is still an experimental feature. And like pretty much all generative AI right now, it has its own weird quirks and some very real limitations. So let's just lay it all out. The pros? It's super fast, it's easy, and the art style is usually consistent, which is a massive win. But on the flip side, you've got the classic AI problems. It can just make stuff up, what the experts call hallucinations. The stories can sometimes feel a little shallow, and yeah, the character designs can still get a bit wonky from page to page. And if you want a perfect, maybe slightly nightmare-inducing example of an AI hallucination, here you go. A reporter from The Verge just asked for a simple story about a catfish looking for a friend. The result? A story where, and I'm quoting here, the catfish grew human arms from its body. I mean, it's a hilarious reminder that this tech is still very much a work in progress. And it's not just the weird stuff. There are some hard technical limits, too. More advanced creative writers have pointed out that the stories seem to be capped at around 2,000 tokens. That's maybe 2,500 words for the entire 10-page book. So if your story has a lot of action or dialogue, that limit can really squeeze everything together, making the whole thing feel rushed and, as one person put it, very dry. So, after you weigh the incredible potential against the sometimes bizarre reality, let's zoom out. What's the big picture here? Why does a tool like Gemini Storybook really matter? If there's one major takeaway, it's this. Storybook is a huge step toward making creativity available to everyone. For literally centuries, if you wanted to make an illustrated book, you needed this rare combo of skills. You had to be a good writer and a good artist. A tool like this just erases that barrier. It makes a powerful kind of creative expression accessible to absolutely anyone. And that, of course, leaves us with the big, thought-provoking question that's at the heart of this entire AI revolution. Are tools like Storybook just a powerful new paintbrush for artists and creators, something that will empower them in totally new ways? Or are we watching the first steps toward a future where the human artist's role is fundamentally changed or maybe even replaced? There's no easy answer, but it's a question we're all going to be wrestling with as these tools just keep getting better.